All right. Here's another evening of UnX News. And tonight, though, we are actually live from XCon in Springfield, Missouri at the very haunted Oasis Hotel, getting ready for a fun evening. And I've got none other than Michelle Roofs with me right now. Michelle, how are you?
Doing wonderful. I am having a fantastic time here. If people are listening and they're close, we still got a couple of days here, don't we?
Oh yeah, we've got tickets available for Saturday and Sunday. They're 120 a piece, and that includes everything for the 2 days. Yeah, all the vendors, all the speakers, lots of stuff going on. Now, Michelle, you did a great talk earlier today. Also, you're going to be doing something this evening. Tell us about that.
Yes. So we're first going to start with a workshop and kind of go over some of the equipment that's out there nowadays. I mean, there's so many different types. So we're going to kind of just go through just a little bit at a time, kind of tell people what they're all about. And then after a while, I think you're going to let us go free and we're going to turn down the lights and we're going to do a ghost hunt here at this hotel.
Yes,
Super excited.
we are. And some people have already been seeing things here.
We've been hearing stories. People weren't sleeping last night at the hotel.
Right.
Having trouble. And we've been watching things walk on the stage and everything else. So now we're just going to bring out the equipment. And I see some guests that are they're bringing out the big things.
Yeah. Carl is over there making a little bit of noise. Just folks, that is him getting out his plethora of equipment.
Yes.
Carl has decided to be a very serious UFO investigator, but now he's into everything paranormal.
I think so. And I think that's what's going to make all this fun tonight.
All right, it certainly is, and he's going to actually let people handle all the equipment, and we've got other equipment. I brought mine, and so a lot of people brought their own for testing tonight, and if they didn't, they're going to be able to try ours out.
We have tons of them, so we might as well just share it and just have a really good time tonight.
Yeah,
I'm giddy.
Well, it's been a long day, but we're kind of revived after dinner now, and we're ready to go. All right. Thank you so much, Michelle.
And I'm going to go get ready for
okay.
the next round. And
we'll let you do that. All right. Thank you. All right. And now in the hot seat is Tyler Koala. Of course, you know him from the Journey to Truth podcasts and the Journey to Truth conferences in Illinois. Welcome, Tyler.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for putting on this event. Yeah. Speak. It's a lot of fun. So far, it's only the first day, but I'm excited. We had a lot of the speakers today were talking about their investigations, including how to detect deception in an interview. Mm-hmm. And it was actually very, very valuable information. But then we did a workshop learning how to basically tap into your heart and telepathically communicate. There's a lot of great stuff today. So it was, and the paranormal activity there. I even saw something, like an orb, I guess. But I mean, there's things, there's a presence, there's something going on. So I'm excited about the little ghost hunt tonight.
Absolutely. Well, we're glad you could join us. And did you happen to bring any equipment with you? Or are you going to fiddle around with what we've got?
Oh, no, I guess I'm just here along for the ride as far as that goes. Yeah.
Okay.
I did think I at least saw something today, like a pale white ghost, but it was just your husband at the pool with his shirt off. So.
Oh yeah, he's trying not to be so pale. Yeah, he snuck. I let him sneak out of here. I thought, oh, he's taking a nap, and then Tyler brought me the evidence. Yeah, he's probably not listening to us right now, which is a good thing. Yeah.
I'm really excited to talk on Sunday. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I put a lot of work into my presentation. And if anybody doesn't know about the Secret Space Program, it's a story that needs to be told. It's we have a long history of an unknown history in this country and on this planet, and it kind of just gets swept under the rug, and a lot of people don't understand the magnitude and the level that the government is involved with extraterrestrials and even off-world colonization, which sounds crazy, but I'm going to bring some evidence that's going to make everyone scratch their head.
And blow their minds. Yes, indeed. I'm looking forward to that. So, like we said, we do have tickets available still for Saturday and Sunday, and you're speaking on Sunday.
Yep, Sunday.
All right. Thank you so much, Tyler,
Yep,
for
thank
stopping
you.
by. Appreciate it. And next we have Linda Eastburn with us. Linda, of course, did 2 talks today. You want to tell
Oh
us what
my
you
gosh,
talked
yes,
about?
I did 2 talks today, wore me out, but what a great group. I mean, they were so responsive, so wonderful. It was great fun, to talk to these people. Because I was talking about Bigfoot a lot, ghost aliens, everything, and
Mhm.
I'm really looking forward to the ghost hunt tonight because this room has been full of energy all day long. So
Yes.
we're going to have fun tonight. We're going to look for ghosts, and the speakers for the next 2 days are phenomenal. So
Yep.
you've only just begun. You put on a great conference. This is just fabulous. I just really, really invite people to get over here and hear these speakers and participate in all these fun things.
Oh, thank you so much, Linda. And coming from you, with your experience doing conferences, that's a good compliment. I appreciate
Well,
that.
conferences are a task, so I'm going to
They
say
are.
you put on a good one for sure.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. Like Linda said, we are doing the ghost hunt, and the Oasis Hotel is very, very haunted. We found out last year when we did XCon here, and the now, of course, this is the Oasis Hotel and Conference Center in Springfield on North Glenstone. I had actually been coming here for several years with another group, my fire investigation group. Okay, very mundane left brain stuff, right? Nothing ever happened. But last year, we bring in people who are into the paranormal and are looking for things, but they really weren't expecting anything to happen. And I wasn't either. But then it started. So people are seeing shadows on the ceiling, apparitions walking out of the walls, a little girl, uh, just all kinds of stuff, even Mothman, which was a huge, huge surprise to me. He was standing on the stage next to me. I knew it, but Michelle, who just spoke a minute ago, saw him and walked over to me and said, "Do you know Mothman is standing to your left?" And I said, "Yes, I do." At that time, my computer stopped working. It froze up. And Michelle has this spray that she makes, and I highly recommend it. It wards off negative energy. And she just sprayed a little bit around me, and the thing backed off. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing that that happened. And then we saw him for a few more minutes and gone. So there is a lot. Anybody tonight that's going to be doing the investigation, I'm sure we're going to have some luck. And with me right now is the famous Martha Hazard Decker from Texas. Welcome, Martha. Your talk today was amazing. Tell us a little bit about that.
I appreciate that. Even after the technical difficulties were over.
Oh yeah, I think I'm going to blame that on Mothman.
Well,
Actually,
I will. So today I was going towards the front and walking by the bar restaurant,
Mhm.
and I'm trying to walk in a hurry. Not a big deal. It was so strange because 3 times in there, between the restaurant and where the waffle making station is,
Yeah.
I go to move my left foot, and it's like as I'm moving it forward, something is grabbing it and pulling it back.
Oh.
Now I have like a pulled arm muscle, twisted knee.
Oh my
and
gosh.
so on 3 times.
Ah, I did not know that. I did not know that happened.
If that little railing they have around their little balcony seating
Mhm.
wasn't there, I would have been on the floor 3 times.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Walk around there, it was with force.
So we've got an aggressive ghost.
What the heck was that? I have never, ever had anything like that. So when on my way back through, I'm like, I'm marching, I'm picking my foot way up so nothing can grab it.
I'll bet.
It was bizarre.
Did you get a sense of if it was male or female?
No.
Okay. And
No,
anything
because-
like a cold feeling or
No, I think I was just so surprised with that and trying to figure out what the heck was that,
I'll bet.
because I've never had anything like that happen before.
Oh boy. Well, we're in for it
And
tonight, folks.
And it started right by our room. The patio for our room is right there.
Uh-huh. Oh.
So, right there. where the-
I'm near your room too.
You are, yeah.
Great. Okay. I saw a flash of light on the ceiling in my room last night. And sometimes, and I mean, it was brilliant. Sometimes that can be an indication of a portal opening. And I'm just like, okay, whatever, bring it on.
Yeah,
But
it
nothing
kinda
else happened.
happens to you at places like this, so
Yeah.
it's like, "Don't bring me along," or if you do, make sure it's good.
All right.
So
Well, we'll send out the message. We only want benevolent spirits here tonight. None of the bad guys.
bad
Yeah.
guys, I haven't, thrown anybody around in a while.
Oh, that's true. That's true. With your law enforcement background, oh,
Right.
I would not want to mess around with you, Martha.
Yes, I haven't been able to whack
Sure.
somebody under the hood in a while.
Oh, yeah. You probably get out of practice. All right. I will. You could be our security guard for tonight against evil spirits, and we'll spray some of Michelle's spray from Riverside, Iowa Paranormal, and we'll be good. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Let's. All right. Thank you so much, Martha, and we'll see you in a bit.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to the rest of this weekend because it's been pretty good.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's been worth it. Everybody else needs to get their butts down here.
They do. They certainly do. And we even still have the ghost hunt starts at 7. We have some workshops first and then the ghost hunt till 10. So, come on down, get some tickets. We are in the very back of the Oasis Hotel at the conference center entrance. So you just drive all the way around to the very, very back, and there's some big doors and there are signs on the windows. And so we'll be starting at 7, and if you can get here by 6:45, that would be good. All righty. What was your name again?
Luann Morris.
Luann. Okay, and what have you got?
I designed a set of oracle cards with my partner, Deborah Colleen Rose. And
Uh-huh.
we decided that what we needed was, and who was that was just talking earlier? Was that Diane or Deb? No, she was talking about tarot cards and learning tarot cards.
Mm-hmm.
But we designed these, and I would invite you to
Ooh.
look at them.
Ooh,
These
okay.
are to be more intuitive. It's
Okay.
just a picture and a word, and you lay it down, and you're just really drawn to the person's energy. And
Uh-huh.
what is this card telling me about that person?
Okay.
Now, we have a few little descriptions in this book that we have, but we don't want you to depend on those descriptions.
Oh, okay.
We want you to depend on your intuition.
Okay.
And
And
that's what she was talking about earlier. What does your intuition tell you? What is the message? And I think more and more of us are really trying to tap into our intuition
mhm.
and use it either to notice spirit, ghosts, or the messages we need to get to others.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mhm.
that's why Deborah and I designed these cards.
Now, do you do readings for people?
I do. Do readings.
Would you be able to do a real quick one right now for me?
Let me do this little reading that Deborah calls the Las Vegas Shuffle.
Okay. All right. That sounds cool.
She's a showman, so she really likes to do that. And let me do this. We're going to concentrate on your energy.
Okay.
Okay. So there's something that's coming up for you that you need to be released from. And I get the feeling that you want to be released from all of the responsibilities that you've been holding on to for the last 6 months to plan this beautiful conference, which I have
Mhm.
never been to a conference. So all of my conferences in the future will be judged by this one.
Oh, okay.
You did a good job.
All right.
And you've had trouble telling you things, but they don't tell you the whole truth. And so that kind of trips you up. Yes, you told me that, but you didn't tell me the whole story. And that's been tripping you up since day one.
Yeah, you are so right.
So remember that sometimes what you need to do is just forgive them and go on, because forgiveness is for your heart,
Mm-hmm.
not theirs.
Exactly.
And so just, let it slide. If you want to be here next year, you can kind of warn them in advance. You have to be told everything. But for now, it just needs to be forgiven and move on.
Okay.
Are you looking for a new pathway for some of these conferences, something new you want to inject, because this is telling me you need to go forward. You need to go forward with that plan.
Yes, indeed, you're right. Again.
and what you're doing is very sustainable, and you're going to be able to do this many years from now. It's
Okay.
going to really, it's your niche. It's what you want to do.
Mhm.
It's how you want to be involved.
You're right.
So don't feel guilty about spending more time taking care of this project.
All right.
One more
All right.
thing. It's all about how you communicate with others. And we're here trying to communicate with the other side. And some of your problems with this conference have been communicating with others that haven't been telling you the whole truth.
That's
and
true.
Leaving things out that make your job difficult.
That's right.
So all I can say is these cards tell me you're on the right path, and whatever new thing that you're trying to inject is the right way to go. And just forgive those people that haven't helped you in the best way, and let's move forward.
Wow. I cannot believe how accurate you are. You're very good at this. Very good. What is the name of your book?
The set of cards. Is
Okay.
called This Life Tapestry Oracle cards.
And it comes with a book.
It comes with this
Wow.
little book where we talk about why we chose 52 cards, and why we chose just some. It's kind of generic. People think it's kind of generic, but really it just plays right into. If you have the intuition to pull from people's energy that are sitting in front of you, it certainly will serve you well.
Okay.
Because it is general, and what your intuition, how to apply it to that person.
Yeah.
Because they're sending their energy to you. I have this on my website, which is www.ancientherbalapothecary.com. So I have this
Okay.
for sale on my medicinal herbal website.
Okay.
If you want to go look at it. And,
Great.
It is, believe it or not, the only thing that I read with anymore.
Oh, okay.
I started out as a traditional tarot reader, and then I went to Lenormand cards, and now we have our own cards that serve me well.
Well, I really like the graphics on the cards. They're modern, but they're very appropriate with the words that you put with them.
I spent a lot of time. Deborah and I went through the words that we wanted to use, and then I spent tons and tons of time looking at 4 or 5 different websites that offer photographs to really match up the best photograph for that word.
Yeah, I think you did a great job.
To inspire you to read.
Yeah, and you're very talented too.
Thank you
So,
very much. I
all
appreciate
right.
that.
Well, thank you so much for stopping by.
Well, I have enjoyed this. And
Are you coming to the ghost hunt? All right.
I'm here with Martha.
And so
She
you're
drugged
doing
me
the same.
here.
Oh, did you drag her here, Martha? Okay, well, you have to do what she does.
Right.
All right.
And
Well,
it's
okay,
been thank you
awesome.
so much.
All right, thank you. Let me see if I can cajole Carl into coming over here for an interview. This is radio only tonight, folks. We're not doing YouTube and Rumble. We're not doing video here from the conference. Yeah, no, I'm just letting you know. Okay, Carl. Yeah, I know Carl very well. Is an investigator with Missouri MUFON. Lives near me, near Kansas City in Liberty or Excelsior Springs. I'm sorry. Move a little bit closer to the mic, Carl, if you can. And he has become a just first-class investigator. And you have, I think, more equipment than any professional investigator I know, including me. So can you tell us a little bit about what you've got?
I brought along the EMF meters and a Geiger counter, several different kinds of UV lights, laser lights.
Mhm.
Normally we use that stuff for the UFO investigations, but I think they mesh well with the ghost hunt.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you can use usually all the equipment you would use on a UFO investigation, you use it on paranormal. Yeah, and vice versa, of course. So if you're into both of those things, you would have everything you need. Let's talk about the North Farm for a little bit. We've got to talk about this case, folks. this is an undisclosed location. It is in Missouri. And this is one of the strangest cases that we've ever worked on. Let's talk about what happened the first day we went to the site.
We got several reports of just about everything that can happening at this farm, and we went up there and we found what could have been a landing spot or something in the grass that left some black goo.
Mm-hmm.
We took samples of that, and I had the equipment, and some of it I still don't know how to use. And you and I were playing with it, and our Geiger counter, I have a little card that tells me at what levels to be cautious. And we were walking along, and it hit 50, and I looked at the card that says "run like mad." So,
Whoa!
And then it dropped back to normal almost instantly.
Yeah.
And then we had, like on Skinwalker Ranch, if anyone watches that show, we had the frequency analyzer. And
Spectrum analyzer.
Spectrum, and it, of course, hit 1.6.
Yep, right off the bat.
Right
both
off
of
the bat.
both of our spectrum analyzers, we turn them on, and here we go. I'm like, oh, here we go, Carl. This is a portal.
And I had one little piece of equipment that I kind of saw on eBay and thought it might be a help. And it's a lightning strike indicator.
Yeah.
And the weather was just perfect, a little chilly. And I turned it on and looked down at it, and it immediately showed 4 hits.
Yeah.
And then
There was no lightning.
no, and we looked. I had my laptop out, and we opened it up, and there was just nothing anywhere near us weather-wise.
So it was registering some type of frequency that would have mimicked lightning or been similar enough to it that it set that thing off.
Absolutely, and this place has a crazy history. We have on video, security camera videos, a huge UFO that looks like a cloud. Maybe the cloud is disguising it. And our photo analysis team did an analysis on it and showed that it was solid.
Mm-hmm.
And then
And close.
and very
And close
right
in
over
front of the
house.
trees.
Yes. And then across the street is an empty field. And on her video, she picked up a portal or a vortex,
Yeah.
and that's quite scary. And then she lives in a
Okay, wait. Let's go back to that portal just a minute. We have to describe what that thing looked like. Why don't you go ahead? I saw it. It looked to me kind of like a tornado with a very small base, but there was a ring of lights, multicolored lights that were spinning around on the ground underneath it. And then it was like this thing lifted up, like the tornado started there and was spinning, just got bigger and bigger and bigger. It got huge. I mean, monstrous. And she videotaped this thing. The thing is, Carl, when we looked at her phone, we could see this very, very clearly. And then trying to transfer it, all different types of ways we tried to transfer that video, could not get it done. It can only be seen on her phone. And it looks transparent, but you can still see it.
and she's on her third cell phone. As she tries to send me this stuff, her phone quits, and she can't get it to work again.
Yeah.
But then on going on, as I said, she lives temporarily in an RV trailer, camper trailer on the farm, and many nights something comes and shakes it. And assuming using that's the words assume, it could be Bigfoot shaking her trailer.
Well, with the photo that came from her HD security camera,
It showed a big, which could be Bigfoot.
well, it looked like there was a distortion, kind of like the old TV screens where you would just see this noise, but behind that is a Bigfoot staring right into the camera, which, by the way, is mounted at 8 feet up,
8 feet high.
and his face is right there, right at the camera.
And the camera's picked up what only I could describe as little fairies. A relative of hers heard big wings flapping, which relate to Mothman.
Yeah.
So we got fairies, we got UFOs, we got Bigfoot, we got the vortex, We got all this stuff. The only thing that's missing that I joked about was that we didn't have any cattle mutilation. And the
Yeah.
next day after we left, I found out the farmer across the street moved in a herd of cattle. So I'm waiting for that report.
Yeah, I would say so. The chances are pretty good something is going to happen, because when there are lots of UFO sightings in an area, or portals, just paranormal activity going on, so for some reason they're interested in the cattle.
This just is a hot spot. It's got a little bit of everything. And of course, we even invited a physicist in and did some testing and
Yes.
sent off that black sample, as I said, to the MUFON lab here in Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
And it came back with some weird chemicals in it, and no explanation. And that spot is still, well, it's been what, 6, 7, 8 months. That spot's still there in the grass.
Yes, it is. And the story behind that is that the witness and her little girl, I think her little girl's maybe 8, something like that. And they were in the front yard in the afternoon, and they see a blinding flash of light in front of them. And then it came at them like this giant ball of light, which came right at them and then hit the ground with force in front of where they were standing, and left this black gooey substance in like a half moon pattern around them and in front of them. But this black substance got on their feet, and they had on like flip-flops. So they go in the bathroom, in the bathtub, and they try to get the stuff off. She said it took 20 minutes to scrub it off. Yeah.
And then we also got samples that weren't contaminated by people off of the wiring that goes up to the camera. It had some on it where she runs it through her door and up to the camera. We got some off of that too. So it wouldn't have been contaminated by anything that was in the bathtub or
Right.
on the sandals or the shower shoes or whatever.
Yeah, I think we still have to do some testing on that too. Now, you and I and another investigator, Ray Graham, went out another time, and we had the equipment in it. That's at the time when the lightning warning was coming in. All of our spectrum analyzers were going. Every piece of equipment we had, EMF meters, everything was just it. At one point, everything went off. They're like, "Oh, maybe the portal's opening." So I took my good camera, which is a full spectrum, and aimed it out. I just had a feeling to aim it over that area across the road from her with the big field. So I had that thing going. And then we were all noticing planes. So yeah, lots of planes. We were north of KCI Airport. So they were coming in and landing. They were leaving, and they were in these holding patterns, things like that. But there were 2 planes in particular. Now, I think you are the one who looked it up on Flight Radar.
I have an app on my phone that Flight Radar 24 that you aim it at an airplane and it'll tell you the type and where it's going and where it's coming from.
Yeah.
Most of it.
Yeah. So you did that and told us which flights these were. But the only thing was they were moving so slow. They were like at a dead stop. And as planes are coming towards you, if they have their landing lights on, it looks like they're standing still, but then they turned. So one turned in from the left and one turned in from the right, and they're just going and going, and they're just way too slow. And then, and very low. And then I realized what was going on. We were filming through the portal.
I didn't know you had said that. That's very possible.
That's what I think. I think, Carl, we were filming and looking. We were looking through the portal. All 3 of us. Time slowed down through the portal for those planes or for us. Okay, because none of the other planes around in any direction did that. They were just normal, right?
Normal landing pattern for KCI.
Yeah, except that. So we still have to analyze that video. I've got to send that off to our video analyst, Larry.
Poor guy's going to be so busy.
Oh, we keep him busy.
Hours and hours of videos there that he could analyze. If we can get them, that's our problem. We can't, like we you said the phones mess up. We can't get the videos off of them.
Yeah, we can't get the videos off of the witnesses' phones, but we've got our own. At least we have that one, and I think that's going to show a definite issue with the speed of those planes.
And I think he mounted it up on top of the trailer also, so it'll be up high, so it shouldn't catch anything low. I think.
The camera that I left on the trailer, I aimed that up at the sky.
Up the sky.
Yeah.
Might even be better.
I was hoping that something would come overhead because she mentioned that she's had UFOs flying right over her house. Yeah, she's got a little bit of everything going on there, and including the pterodactyls that she saw. 2 flying pterodactyls, and then they disappeared into the portal. They were headed over in that direction.
Makes you wonder about time travel, really does.
Oh, yeah.
I think even once she said that she saw a large, huge Indian face, Indian head near their carport. And that was, I
Oh.
think, with her eyes. I don't think she got that one on camera, but she saw that with her eyes. So that can kind of eliminate some kind of a camera malfunction or flare.
Mhm.
But if you saw with her own eyes, that's another weird one. Like I said, you can take out a checklist and check for all the weird stuff at one place.
Oh, yeah. She said she saw a very, very tall giant as well. And I think it was in front of her house or in front of the tree. Super, super tall, gigantic, maybe 30 feet tall.
I don't know how many hours we were there. There was the 3 of us, and I think she was telling each one of us a multitude of incidents, things
Yeah.
that had happened. So, I mean, it was just amazing.
Well, the thing is, we witnessed things while we were there. My spidey sense was up, so I was picking up that this stuff was really happening. She wasn't making this up.
Oh, you got to tell what happened on our trip back.
Oh yes, I do have to tell, don't I?
Yeah, you gotta do
Okay.
that.
All right, so I'm leaving the first time we had gone out, and this was right at dusk. It was getting dark. I'm driving on some kind of back roads to get to where I need to go. And all of a sudden I feel this energy, and like there's something behind me that's following me. And even in my vehicle, I felt like it was in the back seat, this dark energy that had come from her place. And I usually put up protection, and of course I'm not looking for something like that to happen, but I don't want anything following me home. And I felt that energy, and then I got home. Oh yes, the next day I was working, and I had my arms up, and I was typing on a computer, and all of a sudden I feel this like burning on my arm, and I look down, and there's like this 6-inch major scratch on my arm. And the way my arm was, of course, it's in the middle of the air. There wasn't anything around that could make a scratch. That felt very deliberate.
Hey, you sent me a picture, and I'll verify it. It was most definitely a scratch.
Oh,
on the
yeah.
arm.
Yeah, it certainly was. And I tell you, the feeling I got was Mothman. And, I've got some stories, and, it started with investigating somebody else's Mothman stories, and then the energy of that somehow became attached to me in some way. Let's put it this way. I recognize the energy when it's around. It's not attached to me, but if it's near, I know it. And that was it. That was it.
And I'm the anti-magnet. Nothing comes near me. I'm wanting something to happen. I can't find anything that'll come and knock on my door at all.
Well, I'll tell you what, maybe we'll have some luck tonight, because this place is seriously haunted. We've been talking about some things that have happened. And one thing I didn't talk about earlier, which I'll go ahead and mention now, was a negative thing that happened. Okay. The other things were kind of, okay, dark shadows and stuff. They weren't really doing anything to anybody. And you heard earlier what Martha said, what happened to her today. Oh my gosh. But anyway, last year we were packing up, and my brother and Jim Koala were in the hallway with the last of the stuff. And I was a little bit further down the hallway. And all of a sudden, my brother drops everything he had in his hand and grabs his face And he said he saw a spear coming at him from down the hallway, and it looked like from the time of Alexandria. Now, most people wouldn't know something like that, but my brother's a history nut. So he knew. He saw the spear come down, and it looked like a solid spear with a point, and it was headed towards his eye. So he made a turn to the left with his head, to avoid it hitting his eye, and it grazed right underneath his eye, right over the cheekbone. It was solid red, and Jim and I both saw it. Something had happened. So the story gets even weirder. Okay. So we leave. So that was, the culmination of the entire event last year. And so we need to get gas in our cars in the morning. We go to a nearby gas station. My husband pulls off because he doesn't need any gas, and my brother and I pull our cars into the pumps. And all of a sudden, this guy, and I am not kidding, came around the corner, and he's running with a spear, with a full spear. And I'm like, what is going on here? And my brother saw it, and he runs into the gas station, goes to the doors to go in the gas station. And I said to my brother, oh, we need to get out of here right now. Stop pumping the gas. Let's get. And so we did. We took off. I didn't know if this guy was going to go, hurt somebody in the gas station or what was going on. And we both got the feeling this was a real person. It wasn't an apparition. It was just like from the day before, it was some kind of a premonition of what was going to happen the next day. Yeah, it's crazy. Just absolute insanity.
And when it possessed by that spirit, you think it followed you and possessed somebody that was close to still try to get to him?
I guess that's one way of looking at it. It could have been like a possession from the spirits that were here, but then also it could have been a premonition of something that was going to happen the next day. I don't know. I really don't know what that was.
I think I've told you many times, off and on, I was in law enforcement for 40 years.
Yes.
And one nice thing about law enforcement, generally, you have a crime, you have a suspect, and hopefully you do an arrest, and it's done. You type up your report, turn it in to the prosecutor, and you're finished. You get to feel some kind of fulfillment. With this stuff, I get so frustrated.
Yeah.
Because you don't know. You just cannot
Yeah.
solve it for sure. And you have guesses and assumptions, but nothing says, yeah, I'm a ghost, or yeah, I'm a UFO, and here's proof.
Right. I'll bet that's kind of taxing on your brain, having been in law enforcement for so long and being able to, find a solution, find an answer. And now, almost everything, there's no answer.
I find you just have to turn the emotions off and like interviewing.
Mm-hmm.
You just like Joe Friday said, just the facts, man. You ask the right questions and get the right answers.
Yeah.
And the more questions I ask and talk to people, I find out that so many things are related that I wouldn't have thought. You told me, and I started asking ethnicity of the people. What was their background, their ancestry, and you mentioned the categories and the countries that people seem to be magnets that attract the appearances and stuff. And I'd say 70-80% of the people that I talk to are of that ancestry. It's weird.
Scots Irish, Native American are the two big ones. And I swear 100% of everybody I've interviewed, and I've asked if they have any, any family history, and they'll say, oh yeah, Celtic, Native American, Cherokee, whatever. Yeah, that's it. So there's definitely some kind of connection through the blood.
I did that ancestry test, and I'm all English, Anglo-Saxon, so maybe that's why I can't get anything.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Carl, maybe we need to get you a transfusion from someone from Ireland.
That's it.
Okay. Now we have the answer. Wow. It just took a little bit of back and forth to figure this out. That's funny. All right. Thank you so much, Carl, for stopping by, and good luck this evening. I hope
everybody comes.
Oh, it will be. It definitely will be. I know you're going to get a lot of evidence. All right. So, yeah, this place is haunted. And there is a background to it, but I'm saving the information I've got. Well, you know what? There's only a couple of people here. I can tell a little bit about the background here for just a second. I did some research. Okay, so after the last year we had this stuff happen, I go to the barista who happened to be also the manager for the whole conference. I said, "Well, I guess you do a little bit of everything around here." She goes, "Yeah." I said, "Well, could you tell me," and I'm trying to take it very easy, right? I said, "Can you tell me if there's been any paranormal activity reported?" She goes, "Oh yeah, this place is very haunted." And she proceeds to tell me that there used to be a Howard Johnson's in this location for many. Oh yeah, part of the rat. Yeah. Yeah. It's yes, and you know, Route 66, big deal. And so Howard Johnson's was big deal. If you were going somewhere, the place to stay was Howard Johnson's. So yeah, so many years of all kinds of people coming in, and what's one thing that happens? People die in hotels, right? They also become attached to them if they work at them. And by the way, I'm speaking to Fred Zooey here with us. Get a little closer to the mic, Fred. Fred is from Nebraska, and he is the assistant state director for Nebraska MUFON. And how long have you been investigating?
Since 2011, so a good 13 years. But I was earlier on. I had a job where I was out of the country, out of the for a lot of the time, so I couldn't be here all the time. So it wasn't until then. But I've had missing time, screen memories starting back in 1975, and then I just got done talking about that. I had an incident of missing time and screen memory, and then in 1978, I had this huge wave of energy that came over the top of me, and I'm working on the railroad. Out of the blue, and I'm just going, "Oh my God!" I said, "I haven't taken drugs like this before. I'm straight lace, and this energy is coming over the top of me." And empathically, I felt, "Look up." So I looked up, and then here's this 30, 40-foot saucer semi-embedded in the cloud. And then they told me, "We just want to let you know that we're here."
Wow. So you hear this telepathically.
No, it wasn't telepathic. It was empathic.
Oh, it was empathic. Okay.
Empathic. I just knew what they said.
I see.
All
Okay.
like one big,
right.
One big thought. It wasn't. I didn't hear it. I just knew.
They just sent you the thought, and you knew. Okay.
So even at that time, I'm like, "Oh, big deal, craft." I still didn't get it. I was like, "Okay," I'm like, I didn't really even think about it, but even the one with the screen memory, it was actually, I thought it was God intervention, like divine intervention that made me stop, and my car slid, and I was about a foot away with my roommate. We were about a foot away from hitting two trees had fallen across the road. Well, the two trees across the road where I learned it was the craft. Because I was thinking and directed to this gravel road. And even when I was on the gravel road, I felt like I got lost. You know how that feeling is?
Yes.
I don't know where I'm going, and all of a sudden I'm driving down the road, crazy like on the gravel road, and then again this energy comes over the top of me, and I see this T intersection sign, and I'm like from here to maybe 100 feet away, and then I'm going to crash right into the ditch and hit that sign, and I slammed on the brake, and the car did a perfect 90-degree turn to the right. And landed again. I couldn't even open up my door because that's how close I was to the. And I said, "Tom, did you see that T intersection sign?" He goes, "No, I'm glad you did." So I didn't know what I thought it was just God intervention telling me, but eventually I learned that the trees was the craft, and that was totally illustrated. And then here, 3 or 4 years later, I see the craft, and then. Time went along, probably another 10 years, and then the dreams came, and the craft started coming, and I being abducted and taken up through the blue vortex.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was the start of that. And then I had conscious recall, and I was over in Saudi Arabia, and I closed my eyes and I could see one gray pop, pop, pop coming in. I'm like, okay, if you guys want to take me, then I need to go consciously. I want to go consciously. Sure enough, I put my book down, closed my eyes. Within a second, I wake up, my eyes are popped, and there's 3 grays standing right beside my bed. And I go, what's your name? What's your name? What's your name?
Oh my goodness.
I said, come on, this is the first time I get to see you guys. You're not going anywhere. And he said, you're being very brave, but there's undue circumstances. We got to go. And I said, you're not going anywhere until you tell me your name, where you're from, and everything. And that's when the first grade comes up, grabs me by my wrist, yanks me out of the bed, and I looked at the 3rd grade. I said, where are you from? He goes, well, I said, what's your name? He said, Cirrus.
Oh.
And that's when I got pulled out, and then there was a portal, and I could see that these sacred geometry shapes coming out of the portal, and I went into the portal. But I later on figured out that Cirrus was not the name. His name, it was the planetary system that they were from.
Yeah, that's where they were from. That's what I was feeling.
Yep.
So did they take take your astral body or your physical body?
I think my astral,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but it felt like. But the funny thing is, I felt his hand around my wrist. I go, oh my God, they're real. That was the first time he grabbed me around my. Of course, your physical, I mean, your astral body, you can still feel that just as much as the physical body.
Yes.
So he just kind of pulled me. And in the blue vortexes, I had about half a dozen of those experiences where I'm dreaming, and next thing you know, I'm in this blue vortex. So I'm levitating over my bed in this blue vortex, and this thing spins, and I go up through the ceiling, and I lose consciousness. One time I was just climbing in the bed, and I exited my body from the back side and almost hit the floor, and I kind of raised back up and back into this vortex, and I stood.
That's pretty unusual.
I know. I'm not going anywhere until you tell me what the heck's going on, because I was wanting them to talk to me.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't getting any interface from them.
Mm-hmm.
And I just stood there with my arms clenched around my chest, and I said, show your face. And they said, I didn't say anything. And the vortex is spun faster, up through the ceiling. I'd go, and then I'd come back 45, an hour and a half later, waking up in bed.
These experiences, those of us who have contact, they're crazy. You tell a person on the street something that they think we're insane, but other experiencers totally understand this.
Well, the thing is, you want to validate those experiences, and Sherry Wild, she's a very strong abductee. She's coming.
Yes.
She's the one that validated me. She went up through the blue vortex too. That's why I'm like, I'm not the only one going through this.
Right.
She did it. She's well written. She has her books out there. And remember her guide was a grade, and his name was Da.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So she's well known. So
yeah. Well, these things are real.
Oh,
They're absolutely happening.
Absolutely.
People that experience this are not crazy, and that's what people need to know. And then also there are support groups that help people who have had these experiences. It's a safe place to go. And don't you have a new support group in Nebraska?
Yeah, we do. We've had one for a long time, but we've kind of regenerated by Christy Pedersen. She kind of reformed it again. We've been going on for 5 years now, and so yeah, it's great help for a lot of people come in, and speak about it. It's the first time, even with my ERT, it's cases with our ERT with fun. Never talked to anybody. This one guy's got the most profound experiences, and he's only talked to his wife about his experience. He's 58 years old.
Mm-hmm.
When he talked with me, he started shaking because and then started getting a headache, and then breaking his stance on talking about it, because it's probably been programmed not to talk about it.
Right.
He had brain bleeds, and things of that nature, which I thought maybe an implant went up his nose and went through the blood-brain barrier. Things of that nature, and then that went into the men in black that came knocking at his door and asking about what do you What do you know
Yeah.
about the craft? What do you know about a portal? And what do you know is on the backside of the moon? That's what they asked him.
That is what the MIBs asked
Yep.
this man.
Yes, 3 questions.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about the? Oh no, sir, I don't know anything about that question.
Yeah. Well, you got to get rid of the man in black and still be alive when you're done. Oh my gosh. Well, Fred, thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. And
Well,
hey,
great show.
good. No, thank you. And I think you're my biggest fan. Thank you so much. Yeah. All righty. Um, let's we're gonna get Corey Hack over here. She's a good friend of mine from St. Louis, Missouri. And Corey, how do you like the conference so far?
I couldn't come last year because I got sick. I was really disappointed, and I got sick just before this. Actually, I had a CT scan done yesterday.
Oh gosh,
I was pushing antibiotics and everything.
You are-
That here.
you are dedicated.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh gosh. Well, I'm glad to see that you made it. What do you think of the speakers and the talks today?
I really love it because there's a lot of people I haven't heard speak before.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels a lot more down to earth than some of the big conferences that you have.
Yeah.
You have an opportunity to get to know other people as well, and being able to meet other people and have similar
Yeah.
things. It's like you talk to another person and they go, we're like a mirror image of each other.
Yeah.
We have a lot of the same similar things that have happened to us, and it really makes you feel like you're understood.
Mhm.
If you go to a counselor or psychiatrist and they ask you in a questionnaire, do you hear voices? What is it supposed to say?
You can't put yes down to that one.
I wouldn't know. And then at the very end of it, they say she's being deceptive. Well, I wonder why I'm being deceptive, right?
Because you're gonna lock me up if I tell you I hear voices, right? Exactly. Now you've got to go to a support group if you want to talk about this stuff. Yeah, or a conference like this where everybody's very open-minded and there's a lot going on. But what you mentioned earlier about the speakers, I like to mix things up. I like to get people in who are very good and very knowledgeable at what they do. And but it's not the same old people all the time. Same people all the time. It gets boring. And they, it's not to say they don't have something valid and important, but people like to hear from other people, like you just said. So yeah, that's what we try to do. You've had some weird experiences, Corey. Can you share one of them with us?
Sure, I'm going to share an experience, and I shared this one with Barbara Lamb on the internet
Mhm.
when she was a guest speaker in our group. And I went into the garage for some unknown reason. I don't really remember going into the garage. The garage door was closed. I kind of went into a trance. And then I was transported, I don't know, psychically, I guess, to Auschwitz, Germany.
Hmm.
And there were wooden pallets of people, dead people, naked, and they were pouring gasoline. There were ditches with bodies being thrown into them.
Oh my God.
And all being burned, and the stench was just overwhelming. And I was sobbing. I thought I was going to have a mental breakdown being there. And it was so real. I thought I was actually there. So I must have done some astral traveling. I don't know if it was the remote viewing at that time. I don't know. But then my husband, the garage door opens, he comes in. And then when he comes in, he takes me back to our bedroom and he says, okay, let's get you into bed. The next thing he knows is I start talking a completely different language. I didn't know what that language was. It wasn't German because I speak German. And he says something to me like, what are you doing? Let's get you into bed. And I told him to shut up, that I was talking to my ET family right now.
Oh my.
Yes. Yeah.
I've heard of things like that happening. In fact, it happened to me once. Yeah. What do you think is happening? Is a spirit energy of an ET coming into you, or what's going on?
I think it could be a past life regression. And then when I was talking, I kind of knew what I was talking about, but I didn't understand all the words I was talking about.
Mhm.
And so I talked to Mary Rodwell about it. And she told me that was light language.
That's what I was just hearing in my head a second ago. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I've seen objects floating around in my room, woken up by lights
Mhm.
and all that kind of stuff as well. So
Okay. All right. Thanks so much for stopping by, Corey. I hope you
Thanks,
enjoy the
Margie.
rest of the conference.
I love you and love the show and just love everything about this community. Thank
Oh,
you, Margie.
yeah. Thank you so much. All right, folks. Well, that is it for another edition live right from the Oasis Hotel in Springfield. Come join us tomorrow if you can. And just go to the website unxnetwork.com/xcon if you want more information. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you here again live next week.